Legend of Zorro is a swashbuckling Western superhero film. It is a 2005 sequel to 1998's The Mask of Zorro, and it features the return of Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, along with the new cast members, including Rufus Sewell, the guy who played the villain in A Knight's Tale. He plays the villain Count Armand in this one, and the other new actors, I can't remember all the names. Like this one guy who plays a priest, who's like the ally of Zorro. He's basically like Lucius Fox of the story, the and this kid who plays uh, Joaquin, Alejandro's son, Alejandro Anelia's son, who's like he was a baby at the end of the first movie, and this one he's like 8 years old, and he doesn't know his dad's Zorro, and he thinks his dad's a big wimp because his dad tries to teach him that fighting isn't always the answer. And the kid thinks Zorro is a better role model than his dad. And Catherine Zeta-Jones and Tony Banderas, they have good chemistry and they do good with their roles. Rufus Sewell and the kid and the guy who plays the priest, they all do good with their roles. And the Guy McGivens, the Rufus Sewell's sidekick, well, not more of like a henchman. A gunslinger. He's good with his role, but the, when I saw this movie in theaters, I thought it was better than the first movie. But rewatching it again over the years, I've my opinions on it have waned a bit. The action is a bit toned down. The first one was PG-13. This is PG, and the characters' personalities have changed a bit. Like Elena, she was a real spitfire action heroine in the first movie. This one, she does get some good action scenes to have her spot moment in the spotlight. But um, yeah, she's a nag. She always argues with her husband, complains about everything. Like you things are always more important than your family. You don't even know your son. Yeah. And they're having marriage problems. And these two Pinkerton agents who caught Zorro with his mask off when he was fighting one day, they they they, they take the mask and they tell Elena, "Hey, look, we know who your husband is now. Either you work for us, or we're gonna tell everyone who he is." So she gets a divorce and she works for the goes undercover, like starts dating this old college friend, Count Armand, who's and and because he's like secretly working with this terrorist organization that wants to begin the U.S. Civil War like 10 years before it happens. Because this is when California is on the verge of becoming the next state of the U.S. and during the 1850s, and the terrorists they want to use like newly invented nitroglycerin explosive powder to as a secret weapon to wipe out the U.S. and but these Pinkertons, they wanted Elena to go undercover because they didn't have any jurisdiction there because it's not U.S. territory yet. But why don't you just get Zorro to go undercover? Because he's Zorro. Goodness, and he's a politician. He's a Don. I think that's a politician. He could just like have political meetings with the Count and his buddies and pretend to be an ally when he's secretly spying on them. And the kid, I found him a bit annoying. Although I did like the scene where he got into a fight with his teacher, using a ruler as a sword. The teacher using a switch. So funny. And the guy who plays a teacher, he played a politician in the first movie, so it was good to see him back. And director Martin Campbell, who directed the first movie, was back. It was good to see him back, and he also directed two of the best James Bond movies, GoldenEye and Casino Royale. But this is the best you got with this. I don't know if it was the screenplay, but yeah, the action scenes are handled pretty well. He really does know how to direct action, but like there's this scenes where like Zoro he loses his weapons and he like gets into fist fights, does karate or whatever. I mean, Diego didn't teach Zoro karate in the first movie, so why is he using it here? And this is during a time when martial arts wasn't even popular in the U.S. There weren't any Asians around teaching people martial arts. But what? Well, this is a bit of a stereotypical comment, but you know what I mean. And the humor is a bit cheesy. Like, I don't want to see the horse burping. I don't want to see Zorro getting a divorce and being a drunkard. And this isn't a soap opera. And the I like the cool priest, how he has a moment where he's in a fist fight. He's good in a fight too. And the the train chase fight on the train at the end is pretty impressive. and it does have a happy ending. If you haven't seen this, I'm not going to spoil too much, but you got to see it. And the they waited too long to do the sequel. They should have done it at right after the first one was a big hit. Worked on it then, and there was talks of doing a Zorro movie where he teams up with Django. It's a sequel to Django Unchained. There's a comic book that's a sequel to that movie. I mean, they were talking. Quentin Tarantino was going to make it and get Antonio Banderas to come back, but that they canceled it. I would have loved to see that, but maybe one day we'll get to see Antonio as Zorro again. All right, that's it for now. Thank you. God bless. I give this movie a thumbs up for what I liked, thumb down for what I didn't like. Bye.